morning, Steve.
Hey, good morning there, David. How are you today on this beautiful Monday?
I am fantastic. I mean, this sun this morning just like made my day. I feel like spring's on its way.
Yeah, I
Finally.
think it is. Yeah, should be getting warmer up.
So let's talk to one of our guests that has been in the spring mode for quite a few weeks already.
Spring mode. Let me see if I have a spring mode type guest here. All right. You know what? I'll tell you what. Let's bring on Mr. Chris Poese. He is the business development manager for a company called Payentry. Chris, thanks for being on the show.
This is great.
Can you tell our viewers a little bit about your company and what it is you guys do?
Yeah, so we're Payentry, been around for approximately 30 years. I like to say we've got you from hire to retire. So we're a full service human resources and payroll organization with quite a few ancillary products as well.
Okay.
Now, let us know a little bit about Chris Poese, the man, because I see you're a family man because you have that device on the back seat of your car.
I have two kids. I have my daughter is 3 and my son is just over a year and a half.
Wow,
And,
congratulations.
Thank you. They keep us very busy.
All right. So what is keeping us all busy is the community association world. Now, I understand that in a previous lifetime, you were involved into a community association beyond just Payentry.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got my teeth cut in the community association world when I joined apartment rental groups. So I was a manager for apartments. I ran a mid-rise in Central Phoenix, 420 units, and had a team of about 7 people. It was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it because, every day you walk in and you never know what you're walking into that day. It's always exciting. But after that, I moved to a company where I was selling property management and accounting software and worked with community associations, self-managed associations, as well as property management companies.
Very cool.
All right, Chris. So there's quite a few different payroll companies out there, payroll providers for community associations. Now, what makes Payentry different?
So when we first got started, we were licensing our software out to people who wanted payroll services, but not actually have to develop their own products because that can be really expensive. So for 25 years, we watched the market. We watched how the end users were being treated. 1-800 customer service, right? On the phone, and you're on the phone for an hour and a half, 2 hours waiting for some support. You might get it, you might not. A la carte pricing, where you had to kind of determine what you can afford versus what you needed. And of course, confusing pricing structures. So, lots of hidden fees here and there, and you never really know what you're going to be paying. So we wanted to go to market completely different with every client, no matter the size, whether you're a solopreneur or our largest client is a 10,000 person hospitality company nationwide. Wow. Everybody gets a dedicated client advocate. So you would have somebody directly to reach out to. So if we onboarded you, you would get assigned to, let's say, Erica, and you would have Erica's email address, Erica's phone number, and you'd be able to reach out to her directly if you had any kind of questions. Yeah, we also wanted to include the entire product line in our offering as well. So you didn't have to choose anymore. So hiring and onboarding, applicant tracking, unlimited job posting, unlimited reporting, timekeeping, and payroll all wrapped into one price point. And then, of course, we wanted to make our pricing structure simple, predictable, and transparent. So it's one base fee and then a per paid employee per month. And there's no other charges outside of that. So there's no charges for quarterly filings, annual filings, W-2, custom reporting, no extra charge.
All right. So let's say I need a financial report. You're not charging me on top of what I currently charge every month. It's not like I end up spending an extra $400 or $500 for my reports.
Nope. It's all included. You can just reach out to your client advocate and say, hey, I need X, Y, and Z, and they'll help you build that report for you.
Now, what kind of business do you typically serve as a company?
Yeah, great question. I know it's cheesy to say, but anybody that runs payroll. But at the end of the day, there are certain verticals where we do kind of shine in that sense because of pay structure. We don't bill based on how many times you run payroll, how many people that you actually pay. So organizations with slightly higher turnover, or they're paying more frequently if it's weekly and they have off-cycle checks like commission checks or bonuses or anything along those lines. Because we don't bill for each run, it doesn't matter how often you're paying your employees, and people really respond to that well.
Okay. All right. I've heard a common objection to hiring somebody to come in and do HR and payroll and stuff, that some business owners feel that they could save the money by doing it in-house. Now, what's your take on that? I'm just curious.
Yeah, Absolutely. You can do it in-house. There's plenty of accounting systems that'll do that, but it's not your job to stay on top of tax laws, right? It's your
Sure.
job to run a community. And that's our job. We stay on top of the tax rules and what's happening in that world for you. And it allows you to focus on what you do best. Plus, there's all the liability that kind of rolls along with that, right? You can run your payroll and then you have to remit your taxes on your own. And if you miss something, that can be really problematic with the state and the IRS. You end up with a
Sure.
lot of fines and interest and other charges, and you want to avoid that.
Yeah, at all costs. I don't want anything with the IRS. Anyway.
You don't want to see David get deported.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't want that. You want that. I don't want that. But either way, as far as Chris Poese, what does Chris Poese find rewarding in his job?
I was a small business owner myself at one point, so I can kind of empathize with a lot of the business owners out there where there's just a lot going on, right? Trying to manage people and your business and sell your business and build it up, and there's just too much going on. So, I would say what I get out of it is helping people run their businesses more effectively and be able to save that money to be able to put towards things that they need to spend more money on, right? It's not necessarily about saving money. Yes, we could probably save you money, but it's about being able to use that money somewhere else where you can generate more business or give people raises or hire that new person. That's what it's about to me, is helping business owners run their businesses more effectively.
That's very noble, very noble venture of you.
Again, having been a business owner, and I know how challenging it can be, you want to be able to offload as much as you possibly can so you can focus on the things that you're best at.
Gotcha. Okay. So let's say that I'm a new business owner. I'm entrepreneurial this week, and I'm just starting out. Now, my first guess, I don't think would be to hire somebody to do payroll because I wouldn't have that much to really try to figure out. But what advice would you give me starting out?
Yeah, that's a great question. And again, having been a business owner, I can say with ease that you need to offload certain things to the professionals. Okay. I understand it can be a hit at the beginning and it's hard to swallow those costs, but I tried to do that. And I think that's probably the main reason why I wasn't as successful as I wanted to be in my own business. But hire a marketing person, hire a payroll person, hire a social media person, get those things out, because one, you don't have time for that, and two, it's not your wheelhouse. Let other people handle it. At the end of the day, let them handle it.
Well, that is really good advice for somebody who is starting out. You only have so much bandwidth, and to stick within what your passion is, I think, is really important. Now, speaking of passion, we like to give our guests an opportunity to give a shout out or to just acknowledge somebody that has helped them in their career, their life. Could be anybody. Can you give a little shout out there?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, all the property managers out there, I know how hard your job is. I know how challenging it is. And yet you show up and you put out the fires and you make people happy and you make people's communities better. Stick with it. You're doing great. I really have to give props there because, again, I know how challenging it is.
Amen. Amen.
But personally, my buddy Dave Cox, he was the first person to help me get into this particular world, and I'm grateful for it.
All right. Well, thank you, Dave Cox. You made it on the show, too.
I'll pass it.
All right. Well, thank you very much for jumping in with us. Hope you have a good, busy, productive week in this beautiful early spring.
Yeah.
And I will see you next week for the next episode of Community Association Call Chat.